municipalities for Asylum Seeker Services, or SMASS grant program. I am Neil James, Executive Director of the Metropolitan Mayors Caucus. The Mayors Caucus is a membership-based organization of the Chicagoland region's 275 cities, towns, and villages. We are very excited to be partnering once again with the Illinois Department of Human Services to administer funding that supports municipalities to receive new arrivals. In the interest of aiding the people of Illinois and local governments responsible for ensuring the public health, safety, and welfare, Governor J.B. Pritzker declared the state of Illinois as a disaster area, which allows Illinois Emergency Management Agency to implement the state's emergency operations plan, coordinate state's resources, and aid the emergency purchases necessary for response. The governor's emergency declaration and state funding dedicated to supporting municipalities make the SMASS grant program possible. This year's grant program is part of a joint planning effort by the state of Illinois, City of Chicago, and County of Cook. Therefore, funding will be targeted to support municipalities statewide outside of the City of Chicago. Now, I would like to invite our speakers for today's information session, provide us with a brief introduction of who they are and where they are from. Mahi, would you like to begin?
Of course, thanks, Neil. Hi, everyone. My name is Mahi Mahmood. I'm the Asylee and Refugee Resettlement Lead at IDHS, overseeing the New Arrivals Mission. Really excited to be with you all today to speak a little bit about SMASS. And I'll hand it over to my colleague, Kylan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kylan Hooks. I serve as the Strategic Shelter Operations Administrator on site with IDHS for new arrival shelters. And I will turn it over to our colleague, Crispina.
Yes, hi everyone. Good morning. Crispina Heda Simmons with the Metropolitan Mayors Caucus, and I program manage the SMASS grant. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you all to our speakers for their introductions this morning. We look forward to providing a very informative presentation for you. Please feel free to share your questions in the chat or wait to ask your questions until the end of the presentation. So with that, I would like to turn the presentation over to Mahi.
Great. Thanks so much, Neil. So at the start of this presentation, I just wanted to spend a few moments talking about kind of the context and origin of this work. So as all of you likely know, in August of 2022, the state of Illinois began receiving buses from Texas. Since then, we have welcomed about 44,000 new arrivals to the state. And that has been in collaboration with all municipalities across the state. I think this unprecedented humanitarian crisis has led to two key implications that I want to talk about today, and has really changed the way that we view social services and how we support people in our communities who need that support. I think the first implication is, one, the correspondingly unprecedented amount of collaboration and cooperation across municipalities in the state. So as you all know, the City of Chicago, Cook County, and the state of Illinois have been working together for several months now, meeting at least once weekly to talk about our joint strategic plan for the new arrivals response. And in conjunction with that, we have also been administering the SMASS grant. This is going to be the third round of the SMASS funding that has been made available to municipalities outside of Chicago to be able to also support this mission. The other implication of this work is that it has brought to light the disparities in the services that have been available to people facing homelessness in the Chicagoland and broader Illinois area. And it's given us a chance and an opportunity to really capitalize on things that we've learned from the new arrival mission to reimagine how we can best serve all unhoused peoples. So with that, I think those are the things that inform our vision for what SMASS 3, this current round of SMASS, is going to look like. And I'm really excited to share those details with you. So I'll hand it over to Crispina to start to walk through what we're envisioning for SMASS 3.
Thank you, Mahi. So I am going to, as Mahi just mentioned, I'm going to be walking through the grant opportunity, the application process, and the reporting requirements for the grants. This year, in partnership with IDHS, the Mayor's Caucus is administering a total of $9,524,000 in state funding. Available funding can only be used to provide the rec services to new arrivals and people at risk of or experiencing homelessness. It is required that at least 51% of requested funding is used to serve new arrivals. The lead applicant can request funding for their staff to provide the rec service coordination with program partners. The application is going to be open on a rolling basis until funds are exhausted, or on August 5th, which is the application deadline. The grant term is for the state fiscal year 2025, which runs from July 1st of 2024 to June 30th of 2025. Pre-award allowable expenses can be retroactive to July 1st of 2024. All awarded funds must be obligated and expended during this grant term. So we have a definition for asylum seekers. Okay, I do want to apologize. I'm having some problems with my slides, so please be patient with me. So the definition for asylum seeker refers to somebody that has arrived after August 1st, crossed the Mexico-US border with the intent to stay permanently and who does not possess any permanent or interim legal status, such as legal permanent residency, a student or work visa. It does not include being on parole. Experiencing homelessness, before I move on to the applicant eligibility, experiencing homelessness is defined as those residing and sleeping in places not meant for human habitation. Those at risk of homelessness are generally considered earning 30% or less than the area median income. And we're going to be able to share more on defining at risk or people experiencing homelessness in the Q&A. The applicant eligibility includes the following: a municipal government defined as any level of government within Illinois, a community-based organization that is designated a 501c3 entity and that has the support of the local municipality where services will be provided. Both municipal government and CBOs must be outside of Chicago. Municipalities that apply in partnership can choose which municipality will be the lead applicant. There are no additional funds provided, nor administrative overhead for the lead municipality. As mentioned previously, the lead applicant can request funding to pay for their staff's time to coordinate partner services. The lead applicant will be responsible for establishing detailed scopes of work and performance goals, submit the application and all required documents, manage the grant program and budget, submit monthly reporting on both of these to MMC, and coordinating direct services with program partners. Throughout the grant period, the lead applicant will be responsible for communicating any adjustments or support needed to MMC to ensure successful implementation of the grant program. The eligible services through this grant include shelter and transitional housing, emergency, transitional, rental assistance, and case management to secure permanent housing. Rental assistance is eligible, but there will be specific guidance attached to providing that services that is forthcoming. Funds can be requested towards minor capital repairs necessary to make shelters operational. Food, providing direct food services, obtaining cold storage such as refrigerators to increase the availability of fresh produce and protein. Wraparound services include coordinated case management and connection to support that increases self-sufficiency, such as addressing urgent client needs, non-legal immigration support and referrals, early childhood and school enrollment, ESL and adult education, informational workshops, interpretation and translation services, transportation, health and wellness, assistance in screening for eligibility, and applying for eligible public benefits. Additional services include legal assistance and support that helps new arrivals to navigate the complex legal process related to their asylum application and other legal needs. This also can include support, eviction support. Health and wellness includes physical, behavioral, and/or mental health care. The application is available to be completed online and includes a series of questions that cover applicant eligibility, funding requested, applicant and partner experience, and goals for the proposed program. You will also need to download and complete the following documents: budget, scope, and work plan. And these will need to be submitted via email. Community-based organizations that would like to apply for funding will be required to submit a letter of support from the local municipality where services will be provided. All successful applicants will need to be registered in the Illinois GATA grantee portal and must be GATA pre-qualified. Grantees must also complete the state fiscal year 2025 internal controls questionnaire via the grantee portal. The budget template is an Excel spreadsheet with the following tabs: definitions, instructions, lead applicant budget, 2 partner budget tabs, overall detailed budget, total budget per partner. You can copy and paste additional partner budgets into new tabs for the number of partners participating in the program. You can also add additional rows in each sheet as needed. The instructions tab will walk you through each line item and provide guidance on the description and cost information that we are asking you to provide in the description section of each budget. In putting together your budget, we ask that you please keep in mind the number of people that will be served and cost per person of the budget that you're putting together. The scope is made up of metrics for each eligible service, also in an Excel spreadsheet. These are metrics used by SMASS to measure the number of people served by eligible service. The grant requires a minimum of 51% of grant funds be provided for new arrivals. So the metrics that you provide should reflect that requirement. Minimum of 51%, you could apply and say, you're just gonna apply to only serve new arrivals, or you could also say you're going to serve more than 51. It's a minimum requirement of 51% for new arrivals, but you can make that figure larger and smaller for people experiencing homelessness. It all depends on the need that you have identified and the population that you are setting up your program to serve. So again, if you're not going to provide services for people experiencing homelessness, you do not need to complete that, but you will need to provide metrics for the new arrivals that you will be serving. The work plan spreadsheet, in the work plan spreadsheet, we are asking for information on your proposed program timeline. So in the application, there will be a question, a couple of different places where you can tell us about your goals, the program that you're setting up. And so you can provide us with written information in the application itself. But so this work plan spreadsheet that I'm showing you is really meant to be a support document to the information that you have already provided to us in your completed application. What we're looking for here is, especially if you're standing up a new service, such as a new shelter, a food bank, or other service, please make sure that you're letting us know and that you're showing us in this work plan how long it's going to take you to set up that new service. And we also would like to know how long you are proposing to provide the service for. So are you providing the service for 6 months, 7 months? How many months out of the grant period will you, after you have stood up this new service, will you be providing services for? And what your intentions are in terms of, is this something that you want to continue to provide, regardless of whether or not you receive SMASS funding? Just if you could provide us that information, that will be really helpful in reviewing your grant application. And just in terms of the evaluation process, we're looking at 2 tiers of eligibility. The first one is a municipality-led application with community-based partners or other municipal partners. The second one is a CBO-led application that has the support of a local municipality. And again, that support will be indicated by them providing you with a support letter that you can submit with your application via email to us. And so a CBO does not need to have any additional partners. So if you would like to provide one of the eligible services and are able to do that, you can submit an application and it can just be the CBO with the support of the local municipality. If you are part of an organization that is located in different communities and you have intent of providing services in all of those communities, then we would need you to provide a letter from each one of those communities with your application. But again, if you only have one location where you're proposing to provide services, you only need to provide the letter for the one community where you're providing services. We're going to be looking at eligibility, the viability of the program that you're proposing, the budget, your service objectives, your work plan. And we're also going to be looking at your partner, the applicant and partner experience in providing services to homeless or people experiencing homelessness or new arrivals. And the grant awards to successful applicants are going to be based on a variety of factors, but including but not limited to the available funding, viability of your program, including the cost, time frame, experience, and capacity that is shown in the application. We will be providing special consideration for applicants that are currently providing or that have provided services to new arrivals and people experiencing homelessness. We're looking for a capacity to deliver linguistically and culturally competent services, as well as being able to provide individuals with service based on their age, ability, ethnicity, or other identity. There's places in the application where you could tell us about how you have done that or how you plan to do that as part of this program. And grantees and successful applicants will be required to complete monthly fiscal and program reporting to MMC. And that is for both their own information and the information of all the partners involved in the program, with supporting documentation, a ledger for your budget, and report certification. We will also ask that grantees provide ongoing updates to MMC, and those can vary from grantee to grantee. This is, of course, not to add any additional burden on anyone, but so really just for the caucus to be informed on an ongoing basis on your progress, and that you're able to let us know if you need technical assistance or other support, that we're able to provide that to you. And again, this is for the purposes of ensuring program success. So with that, we're gonna go into question and answer.